Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 9352.
Oh yeah.
Pipped Off.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is back once
It
again.
was our last time, and we were back. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, you were back last time. I still can't get over the fact that you left me for that 1 week when you went to Dubai. That's what it was.
I want to see that episode. That episode is going to be really interesting. I want to see what you guys talked about.
It's basically just Jonathan just ranting.
Crying.
It's Jonathan ranting about a
Influence
funnel going into a trader guru community.
TGRs.
I don't know if it was TGRs. I don't know who it was.
It was TGRs.
We're do you know? Last week it was anonymous, and then you called him out saying it was him. And now this week he deliberately didn't name the community. Now you're just calling out the community.
I'm putting him on blast, man. People need to know what he does. People
All
need to know that he goes into people's funnels and takes sales calls, and annoys the influencer.
But you know what?
I find it actually very funny.
I went through one of these funnels myself recently for a content creation type thing. I'm trying to build out my mental wealth trader thing, and it was actually very similar. And this wasn't for trading. This was just the same thing. It's like, oh, you sure you can't afford this amount of money and this, that, and the other. So it is just sales. It's just that's just the way it goes, isn't it? So
I do like doing them sometimes. They're just great. They're great. Sometimes I even get interested in actually buying.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. You going into one of these funnels is that you are the most susceptible person that I know that would actually
true.
Yeah, I'll probably buy this.
I'm like going in there just for like shits and giggles, and then I'm like, oh damn, I actually bought the thing.
Like, why did I buy this?
What am I doing with a 30-day,
30-day trial for God knows what?
Yeah.
Black Friday today.
Days.
Have you spent any ridiculous amounts of money, or are you just watching the markets go wild because the CME has gone down?
Wow, that was crazy.
That's gone bonkers, hasn't it?
That was crazy.
Everyone has lost their minds over it.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of people on X complain, or not complaining, but saying ICT predicted it. Like, what? Come on.
Oh, people are so simple sometimes, honestly.
It's just, ICT predicted that CME was going to go down. Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Well, he's not on Twitter to know about it, so.
Well, exactly. So.
No, I did get another evaluation because I passed one. I'm in phase 2 in another, and since the Black Friday is there, might as well just pick another one up. So I'm trying to add to what I've already got, and probably not the best day to be trading. I am long gold. It's in profit though. So it's on 41.70. My long day after CME sorted the crap out and everything already spiked down. It spiked down twice.
Yeah.
It spiked down twice. Then it tried to come back down. Couldn't actually break support. So then we had an engulfing candle and I just bought. So I'm sat in there on about 8 points. Actually, I'm only 4 points up, but 5.
How much profit?
1%. So $1,000.
Going into the fact that the US is closed, I'd be looking to close that. Because London's not got much long left. You're going into the Friday afternoon in London. You're not going to get much more out of gold today.
Well, it's going up.
I'm sure. Keep going as long as you like, but I've seen enough.
I've seen
enough memes about gold to know that Friday afternoon on Black Friday,
while CME is down,
while
nobody's trading,
maybe not the day for you to go full tilt, Alex.
This is exactly the day we have a God candle. We have one of them God candles that you were like, guys, told you so. Yeah, nobody wanted to listen. Like nobody wanted to listen to me on the footsie buy.
I did, but I just didn't get into it soon enough. I missed it. So yeah. Instead, I followed you foolishly onto USD CHF and followed you like a fool.
So I'll tell you what, with the USD CHF, I tried to clear out my charts to take off the EMAs and see what it would be like trying to see, trying to trade without the EMAs and stuff like that. Because I saw a couple of people that had some really interesting clean charts. I was like, "Ooh, I want a clean chart like them." Anyway, so I took off all the
Sorry, just listen
EMAs.
to yourself. You had a clean chart. There was no other reason other than you liked the look of the chart. There was no edge behind this. This was purely just you were jealous of the fact
No,
that
no,
other
no, no,
people
no,
had
no, no, no.
had a clean chart.
If I pulled up a chart right now, we were at the
Yeah,
top of the range. We
yeah,
broke structure.
yeah,
All of these, all of these different things. So it was a good trade. The only thing is, when I was with funding rock on lower time frames,
yeah.
why would you take the same trade as me? Why don't you just trade your own trade?
Because I'm a fool. I'm a fool.
Why don't
And
you actually trade? Why don't
because
you take the
because
trades that win from me?
this
Why do you
past
take the
this
trades that
past
lose?
week, you have actually been trading really well. So I thought, you know
I,
what, Alex is on it, right? Okay, here's an Alex signal that if
mm,
he's on fire at the moment, he's rolling it in. So all right, here we go. Let's trust him.
you just like the
Um,
analysis. The analysis was top.
yeah, I did.
Look,
I
it's still
actually
in play.
my
It's
mistake
still in
was I
play.
didn't do my own analysis. If I'd looked at my own analysis, I wouldn't have gotten into the trade when I did.
Well, if you have a look at it now, it's still in play. Like if you had your stop at 80, 83,
Yeah,
you would be still in profits right now.
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
the thing. It's when you're taking higher time, and this is the problem with the swing trading and the intraday trading and mixing it all up.
yeah,
Because if you've got a higher time frame trade idea,
yeah,
and then you going on to the lower time frames to do live streaming,
yeah,
of course things are going to get really messy. And
yeah.
sometimes you can mix it all up, because if I just keep to the long trade idea, there's no reason to go onto the low time frames while you're in it.
I need
And
to.
that was the
I
that
actually
was the
need to go
issue.
back to live streaming because I did a live stream a couple of months ago now on the Mental Wealth Trader,
Yeah,
and I must have had like one person watching me. It was just me, just streaming on my own.
that was
My
me.
trading was immense because I was literally all I was do because I was just talking. You know, when you're sat in front of the charts on your own and you're not talking out loud, so it's just your brain. Whereas when you actually have to verbalize it, you're having to slow yourself down. So you slow your thoughts down, and so then
Mm,
you end up talking to yourself, going, "Oh, hang on a second, now that negates that. So let's go back." And do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I caught some killer trades on that stream. So I think I need to get back into doing some live streams again.
The only
Um,
thing the only thing with live streaming, one, you have to have the right people, unless you're doing it on your own. And the
yeah,
second thing is, if you're doing it on your own at a very, very specific time of the day,
yeah,
and you want to be entertaining, sometimes it can push you to do silly things.
yeah.
Me on Funding Rock, some of the trades that I take on there are god awful. They are.
But you're not even thinking when you do that.
No, I'm putting on a trade. I'm putting on a trade for the sake of putting on a trade. But
Yeah,
um, but yeah.
but
Anyway,
yeah,
so yeah,
it's.
that's what I bought on. Did you buy anything for Black Friday?
I haven't yet. I haven't yet. I've renewed my trading view. I was up in two minds as to whether or not I was going to upgrade because they've got a really good deal on the premium. You've got Essential, Pro, and Premium, and the difference between Premium and Pro was €1 for the year. So it was a massive, massive saving.
What's the difference between the two?
You get more indicators, you get more alerts, you get more charts. If you're automating things, it's worth it. But I'm not at that point yet. So I figured I'm just going to renew for the essential one. I've now got like 550 days worth of essential paid for, so my subscription doesn't run out until God knows when, June 2027.
Yeah,
So, but I always renew for Black Friday because you just get the best deal.
of course.
So it's like 140 euros or something for the year. So can't complain about that. I'm tempted to go with Edge Wonk and start doing proper journaling. I know some of you guys are using Edge Wonk, so I'm thinking about plumping for that. But you guys at Funding Rock have got a killer deal with that 40% off. Is it 40%?
40% off indeed. I
Yeah,
think, especially for a new firm, just to
Yeah.
get people through the door so they can see and have a good experience.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
If you're an older firm, then maybe you don't have to do that kind of stuff, but definitely being a new firm, you need it.
Yeah.
And it's good. We got a lot of people, a lot of 5K people coming in because
As
you
long
get
as I think as long as you're not doing it as a, like every week you're doing a discount, right? Then, then that's fine. If you're doing a discount, some of these firms are discounting left, right, and center, and you just think to yourself,
saw one that was 85% off or something
yeah,
like that. No
yeah,
way.
and you just think, that cries foul to me. That says desperation, Black Friday's Black Friday, fine, but if you're doing discounts the rest of the year as well, then you're devaluing the whole point of your business, surely.
Casino does casino things.
Yeah, I know. But then you look at the likes of the Fivers and FTMO, like we've been talking about it offline. They don't do the massive discounts because they don't need to, because they don't want to devalue their brand. They don't want to devalue what they have to offer,
That's true.
And fair play to them. You know,
FTMO
you get,
definitely 20% off of FTMO is good.
yeah, and you think, well, okay, normally FTMO is quite expensive,
You
but
got
you
to
know
think,
what you're getting.
yeah, you got to think as
You're
well. I don't
buying
think
the brand.
the Fivers can't do too big of a discount
Yeah,
because they're already quite cheap.
yeah, yeah,
And if it's too cheap, that kind of messes up with a lot of the edge of the firm.
yeah. But
Whereas
it also
FTMO
attracts the
can
wrong kind of
afford,
traders as well.
yeah, but it also, yeah. So it's a bit of
Yeah,
both. But
yeah,
FTMO can afford to do 20% off, and nothing will happen to their
yeah,
payout ratio or anything like that. I think they would make a bloody lot of money.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But there was something quite interesting because I didn't really see some of these CFD broker scams. Have you ever heard about them?
What, the offshore ones?
Hmm.
Mm. Go on.
How
What
do
have you
people
got?
fall?
Are we naming and naming? Are we naming
No,
and
we're not
naming and
naming
naming,
it.
naming and shaming?
No, we're not naming and naming.
Okay.
But I was just very surprised how many people actually fall for this.
What?
Putting money
Oh,
into
into like an offshore broker.
offshore broker that has got really bad reviews. That somebody calls you up
Yeah,
and gets you to deposit money,
yeah.
and then the money's basically just in limbo and it's gone.
But the biggest problem is it's all coming from influencers.
That's
There's
where
there's
that's what's pushing
there's
them.
loads of influencers out there say, "Oh, this is my broker," and they get their kickback for it. And so all it takes is for that influencer just to get that person through the door, and then it's up to the broker to then phone up that or SAP to say, right, deposit your money, and you're done. I won't name names, but I have seen supposed trading gurus, influencers, whatever you want to call it, who have every 6 months have changed their chosen broker because people cotton on to one being dodgy. So then that influencer has to kind of part ways and they move on to the next one.
Oh yeah, that broker is dodgy. You guys, oh
Yeah,
well done, well done. Let's go into the next one, and that one's
yeah,
even worse.
yeah,
So what I've found out is how fast it takes for them to make the broker. Take them around 30 days to make everything. In a
no,
year, they've got around 200 to 300 people working for it, and then they just recycle and do it again.
wow,
Got to be careful. If anybody's ringing you up trying to get you to deposit money in anywhere,
yeah,
and if you're
it,
looking for a broker, always check reviews.
yeah,
Trustpilot. Honestly, even though we all crap on it all the time, if there is a scam,
mm.
Trustpilot, to be fair, you're probably going to see it there first.
But do you know, I saw one of the I can't remember who it was. One of the CEOs or somebody was complaining on X, saying that Trustpilot is no good. Because you got no right to reply or something, or people can just spam,
Yeah,
negative
that's
reviews
true.
and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
Yeah,
there's a lot of fake, bad reviews.
yeah,
Fake good ones as well. Yeah, there's
yeah,
a lot of fake that once they're on there, you can't really get rid of them.
yeah,
And it can be very annoying and very frustrating because businesses pay a lot of money to be able to have the right to reply. You're talking about
Yeah,
thousands of pounds or
yeah,
dollars a month to be able to do that.
yeah,
So it's I can understand, but for the consumer,
mhm,
it's super important, especially in this particular industry.
yeah,
If you're going to put money anywhere, check Trustpilot, do your due diligence. Don't just follow an influencer,
yeah.
because kind of some of the stuff that I've recently seen, and these guys, the brands look really good. They look very professional, but they are just they're what they are. They're nothing. They're
You got
just
to you got to scratch below the surface. You got to kind of just dig a little bit deeper and just look at the terms and conditions. Look at the, if there's any kind of financial, regulation. Are they under any kind of
doesn't
licensing or anything?
doesn't help. You
Um,
can buy licenses off Telegram, and this is what they do. You buy licenses
no,
from
but if
Telegram,
if you look at, I know you can buy the licenses for random, countries that you've never even heard of. But
Cyprus.
yeah, but you can even go to, like, I've seen places in Seychelles, places in, Mauritius and all these other, random tiny countries where the financial authorities is like one person in a cubicle. Um, but then that's why you then go, if you're genuinely serious about it, stop trying to find somebody with, random best deal or whatever, and just go with the guys that actually have proper, licensing, like Black Bull,
Yep.
for example, or Vantage, or IC Markets, or any of these guys.
Yep.
Don't
That
don't go,
Stone.
yeah,
Yeah.
Pepperstone. Otherwise, you. What are you actually getting that's better from some random unknown broker?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't fall for it. I remember there's a story. A couple of years back, I was sitting at the Christmas dinner table with my uncle, bless him. And he's all very my uncle's very good, like good with money, very kind of a bit stingy in his own way. But you can't get money out of him.
Yeah,
And then we start talking about Bitcoin at the table. And he goes to me, he goes, Alex, God, you got to see this thing. I've got a miner that basically mines my own Bitcoin. And since I've put money in it, I've made like $5,000 and it just keeps going up. And I'm like, oh crap.
oh no.
Um,
Or did he think he'd bought like one of these
and
little
and
machines
he
that you
said,
plug in?
I'm making so much, I'm putting more money in. I'm like, Uncle, have you tried to take your money out at all? He's like, no, I actually put more in. We haven't spoken about Bitcoin since.
And he hasn't tried to take the money out either.
Probably best we don't talk about it because I don't know what he's going to say. We haven't talked about Bitcoin since.
When was this?
Oh, years ago now.
He might be sitting on millions. You
Millions
never
of
know.
fake money.
You never know.
It was at the time. It was the bit bit something BitTorrent or not BitTorrent. There was BitConnect,
Yeah, yeah,
Ponzi BitConnect. It was
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing as that.
Well, hopefully
Ponzi
for your
schemes.
uncle, hopefully you and your uncle, he's actually sitting on a gold mine. You never know, or a Bitcoin mine.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Um,
I doubt
I
it.
tell you what, you're going to come back after Christmas, having met with him, and you're like, "Do you know what, Uncle?
I'll be like,
What about that
Michael,
Bitcoin?"
he's got 20,000 Bitcoins. Now he
Uh,
can't get them out of his wallet.
oh dear.
How's your trading
Oh,
going?
um, my trading is, well. I only really started this week. I got that. I picked up a Funding Rock account and have pissed half of that drawdown away following you with USDCHF. So
Why?
because I'm a stupid degenerate that goes to aqua aerobics classes with 12 60-year-old women, and
I
then
told you that was a bad idea.
yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you got to do things
Why don't you just go and lift weights?
because I can't. For the same reason I can't do aqua aerobics, that I've got
Why?
this
Because
problem with my.
your heart rate, no way does your
It's not
heart
my
rate
heart
go
rate.
that high. What
It's
is
not
it
my
then?
heart rate. It's my balance organ.
Your
When I was
balance
17,
organ.
yeah. So
This is
in
the
your middle ear,
softest thing I've ever heard you say.
I know.
So your balanced organ is out of balance.
No, it's fucked. It's completely and utterly screwed. It's screwed since I was 17. Seriously.
So
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that what does that equate to then? You can't do anything.
I really, really struggle. Like, for example, if I stand up too quickly, just a fraction too quickly, I almost fall over. It's like being drunk, but without the nice, happy, like, feeling of being immortal, you know?
I do
So,
remember you
yeah,
saying.
so I thought to myself, right, okay, I'm not gonna do a January New Year thing of trying to get healthy. I'm gonna do it before the new year. I'm gonna try and get healthy. And I thought if I sign up for a class, then,
Mm.
you know, I'm more likely to go, right? I know I can't do any like really high intensity things. And I thought to myself, aqua aerobics, right? It's not going to be, you know, massively wild because it probably will be a bunch of old ladies taking their time and taking it easy. What I didn't count on was that the pool was only going to be barely up to my waist. So I
In
was
the
just
kiddies
constantly
pool.
losing my balance the whole time, right? Because I wasn't actually most of me wasn't in the water. Um, and then the other thing was it was like a sauna. It was like 30 degrees in there. So I'm trying to do all these exercises, trying to you know keep my balance and everything else. And at a certain point, my vertigo just kicked in, and I went and sat down, and well my saving grace was when I did vomit, I managed to hold it in until the lifeguard brought me a bucket, uh,
No.
and I vomited into a bucket. Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
That'd have been very
so
funny to
I can
watch.
cross that off my list now. So, but the poor guy, I mean, he was sweating buckets just sitting there because it was so hot in there, and he saw me and he was like, oh no, this isn't good. This giant 40-something-year-old is going to collapse on me. What am I going to do?"
I thought you said it was
Um,
a hot Polish woman that was supposed to be doing it.
there was that was the instructor, but there was a
Oh.
lifeguard as well because it's a pool. They've got to have a lifeguard. So,
I was like, a hot Polish instructor? I'm gonna do acro aerobics. Got my
so
speedos out, got my
So yeah, so
armbands.
I've tried it. I can say I've tried it, and it's not for me.
Mm.
But there you go. That's the way it is, you know.
So,
So
guys, if you're ever
um,
interested in doing a new hobby, try aqua aerobics.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So just yeah, don't do it if you've got a problem with your balance organ. So it won't work. Won't work. So
Check that off my list.
so Jonathan and Victor have been telling me, right, you've got to get an exercise bike and just ride a bike at the desk when you're at work or something. Or one of those walking treadmills, you know, at the desk.
It's not a
So we'll
bad
see.
idea.
Yeah, so maybe I'll try that. So
How many
um,
of us just literally we get into work, we sit at desk.
don't move.
I am really bad for not moving.
Yeah,
Like I could
same here.
sit at my desk all day without moving.
I sit in this I sit in this office which is just utter darkness. The only thing I have that keeps me with daylight is this thing, which is my. I don't know if you can see that. That's my.
What is that?
It's a day lamp. You see that?
You got a day lamp.
It's a day lamp because I've got no natural light coming in here, and it's winter in Poland. It's cold. You know, it's
Mm.
like 0 degrees.
So what's a day lamp supposed to help you with?
You do it. You use it for like half an hour in the morning, and it wakes up your circadian system, whatever
Mm.
it is, and so it replicates the natural sunlight that you would get if it was a sunny day or whatever. So
That's actually quite an interesting. That's quite good, actually.
yeah, so I'm using that. I've got an alarm clock that I don't use my phone anymore. I've got one of those alarm clocks that light comes on, so it replicates the sun rising. So again, middle of
How
winter.
annoying is that for your missus?
No, she doesn't mind it actually. She prefers that than being woken up by some noisy alarm. So, so she's not too bad.
I've
The
got
only
into
thing she's
this.
annoyed about is when it wakes her up at like 5:45 on a Sunday. Then she gets pissed off. But
Is that on purpose?
no, it's just because I forgot. I forgot to
Ah.
turn it off. So,
I have got into a really, really bad habit
yeah,
this last
another one.
week, these last couple of weeks, since coming back from holiday,
Which one?
As soon as my alarm goes up and I'm sleeping, I just
Yeah.
grab it, take the batteries out each time,
How how have you got
and I'm not paying
the
attention.
but you've got the mental capacity to still pick it up, take the batteries out.
I can do a lot when I'm sleeping, Michael.
Hear that, ladies? This is what the ladies are missing out on. When Chris is asleep, oh, anything can happen.
Go watch.
Oh,
Seriously, man. Like sometimes, no, I've been really good. I wake up normally at 6. That
yeah,
is that's the norm. I do prefer getting up. I feel better waking up at 5.
yeah.
I feel I just feel so much better. But after once you that only happens once you get into a rhythm of it. It's really difficult getting out of the routine and then going back to that.
Yeah.
And it's just getting back into that little bit of routine. But it's really hard, especially when you're going on bloody holidays and doing stuff abroad.
Oh,
That is like
God.
trying to get back into a waking up at a good normal time. Really
You and your
difficult.
first world problems, honestly. Oh, I go on holiday and I can't get back into my routine. It's
Oh
so
gosh.
hard. Just, I
Ugh,
feel for you, Alex. I really do, mate. I really do.
glad. Glad I
You've got my
feel.
thoughts and prayers, mate. You've got my thoughts and prayers, you know?
I'm glad. Thank you, man.
Um, I can't get up in the morning because it's just too dark. It's like I get up at
I
6 and it's pitch black outside.
don't know how, mate. Honestly, don't know how you do it.
It's
I
hard.
don't know how you do it.
That's why I have that lamp now to wake me up because it's
Cold,
really hard.
wet, grey outside.
Yeah, today it wasn't too bad. So this morning after the aqua aerobics last night, this morning I slept like awfully, and this morning I genuinely felt like I'd been out and gotten absolutely razzled and just drunk myself silly, and
Mm.
woke up feeling as if I was really really hungover.
I was like,
Um,
oh, these good old days. Thank
yeah,
God.
exactly.
Yeah.
So my wife very kindly took the kids to preschool for me,
Mm.
and I had a bit of a lie in. But then I came out to come to the office,
Yep.
and it was actually nice weather. The sun was out. It was still 2 degrees, but the sun was out, so
Cracking.
can't complain too much.
What about
But
his budget?
I know you reckon it wasn't that bad, but did you see the grilling she got from what's her face, Kemi from the Tories?
Nope.
Went absolutely hammer and tong at her.
Really?
Absolutely went
Why?
for it afterwards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, just slagging her off, saying this is a ridiculous. You know, this is for benefit street, and taxpayers are going to pay for everyone's benefits still, and all this sort of stuff. Um, and I get it. I understand why they see it that way, but you know, there's there's no easy way to determine whether somebody's just living their life off benefits and just having kids to have more benefits, and then people who just genuinely just they have 3 4 kids because they wanted to have 3 or 4 kids, they work and everything else, but they then don't get the benefits. So like that child cap thing, they lifted. um Everyone's talking about the
Meaning
debt
you can have more children and get child benefit.
yeah, because there was a 2 child cap, and so they've lifted that cap now, or they're going to from April next year.
And where are they
But
going to get the money? Where are they going to get that money from?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. But the tax, what's it called? The tax burden they're saying is now the highest it's ever been. But she hasn't actually raised anything. All she's done is just freeze the thresholds. So in other words, as inflation continues, because inflation will always continue, people will always continue to earn more and more money, even if it's at a lower rate.
Yeah.
Um, as people's salaries increase, and everything else, then more and more people will fall into the higher tax bracket, and so therefore, they'll be bringing in more taxes. So,
So
yeah,
if I take from Peter to pay Paul, it's all a Ponzi.
uh, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say for sure. Some of the stuff is good, like the ISA,
I
getting
thought they
people
were going
to.
to start. I thought they were going to go and tax it.
Did you?
I
No,
thought they
they
were going to
can't.
go and say, they're going to tax ISAs.
No, if they were going to tax ISAs, then there would have been a riot. That would have just been. You may as well just get rid of ISAs if you're going to do that. No, I thought, the fact that they're trying to get people to invest, into um,
UK equities.
into the equities, I thought that was a good move.
Yep.
That will help. Um, I don't know. I think if you look at the projections, they're basically saying that it's going to take until 2030 to sort all of this out.
Question
So
then: is the UK still a place to live and to grow and to build a family?
I I think there's a lot of media narrative around this. I do think there's a lot of media narrative. There's a lot of um, commentary on social media and everything else. But the problem is, I remember back in the day when I worked at WH Smith's, and we used to say that if you had a customer that was upset, they would go and tell 10 people, right? If you had a customer that was happy, they'd go and tell one person. So I'm not saying that people aren't miserable in the UK. I'm not saying that things are bright and rosy and perfect or anything else. But I do think that there is an element of the most noise comes from those who are the most
Unhappy.
upset and the most unhappy, you know? And there's no counterweight to that to say, actually, it's not that bad, you know? Like, I do know people in the UK who are like, well, I'm just living my life. I'm just, yeah, okay, yeah, things are more expensive. But the thing is, things are more expensive everywhere.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not like it's a UK exclusive thing. They talk about it as if it's only the UK that's got a cost of living crisis. Everywhere's got a cost of living fucking crisis. It's not the UK are not the only ones hard done by it. Everyone is. Every country has got this problem. So the UK kind of almost have this mentality of, well, we shouldn't be impacted by this. Well, the Americans are impacted by it. The rest of Europe's impacted by it. Everyone's impacted by it. This isn't that the UK are high and mighty and therefore should be able to avoid this thing. Everyone's got it. What the UK have done is handicap themselves with a botched job of Brexit. So going into this whole pandemic and all these other, triggering scenarios and situations, they were already coming in with one hand tied behind their back.
But the difference between what America and what Trump is doing compared to what the UK is doing is Trump is going outside to
Yeah,
tax.
Trump is ripping up the rule book. Trump is ripping up the rule book and just saying screw it.
Yeah.
And even Powell, like Jerome Powell, has gone and said, like, the money coming in from tariffs doesn't seem to be coming from the consumer. It seems to be getting absorbed by the middleman. It's not being paid for by the exporter from the third
Because
country.
it gets pushed off and then everything ends up
Yeah.
going to the consumer anyway. That's
Well,
fair
so,
enough. But
but
there's a
apparently but Powell was saying that looking at the consumer price index, it doesn't seem to suggest that. It doesn't seem to suggest that the pricing is filtering down to the average Joe on the streets. At least not, that he said the majority of the tariffs seem to be absorbed either by the retailer on their bottom line or by the importer. So it seems to be sitting in that
which is great.
middleman, which is great. Now, how long that lasts, I don't know. You know, the problem the Brits have got is the Brits are still trying to do everything how they've always done it. They're still trying to be very British diplomatic and trying to keep everybody happy and you know that it's just they don't want to piss anybody off. You know, they don't want to
Have
they
they
don't want
got
to.
have they got resources to piss anyone off? Have they got what has the UK got now?
Well, that's the other thing. They've left themselves without any leverage. I'm sorry, I didn't buy into the whole Brexit thing at all. I thought Brexit was an absolute stupid idea.
Why?
Not that I think that the EU is a good idea, right? Because the EU is a bureaucratic mess and a behemoth that just cannot adapt and change quick enough. But the UK didn't have such a bad place in the EU.
Mm.
The arguments behind leaving the EU were flawed because the complaint.
Immigration.
Sorry.
It was immigration. They didn't want to have problems with immigration. It was paying too much to
Yeah, but this
European
but this is the thing.
countries.
But the thing is immigration, right? That this is the thing. They weren't part of the Schengen zone, right? Before
Mhm.
Brexit, you could not go from Europe to the UK without showing your passport. You did not have freedom of movement like you do on the continent. I can go right now from Poland to Spain without showing my passport. I could drive all the way across the continent without once showing my passport, right? You couldn't do that going into the UK because they had the Schengen. They didn't enter the Schengen zone because they wanted to protect their borders, but they were too spineless to put any limits on how many people could come in. There was legislation that said they were allowed to put limits as to how many people could come in, but they never did it. They never did it. Labour never did it in the 2000s. The Tories never did it in the 2010s, and so then it all went to shit. So the immigration thing was flawed, and the UK could have had a seat at the table because the UK was one of the founders of the EU. So what they could have done was actually sit down and go, "This doesn't work, guys. Come on, we've got to sort this out. We've got to fix this," and actually help to change it from the inside rather than sitting on the outside and just being beholden to this giant market that sits next to you.
Well, yeah, Germany and France were just taking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, what's are you better negotiating as within an organization, or let's remove ourselves when we're one against 26?
Well, do you know what scares me though? At the moment, because Labour are doing such a bad job, uh, whatever hand they got dealt, okay,
Yeah,
they're still doing quite a bad job with
yeah,
PR. They're doing a bad job, okay, and they're not very popular.
yeah.
Who is the next in line?
You have an
Farage.
election tomorrow. It's Farage. Yeah,
That's bad. That's bad.
but
Who's the
he's
one
but
that
he's the UK's
pushed the
but he's the UK's
EU,
Trump.
the Brexit, and all of that stuff, and then just vanished afterwards?
But he's the UK's equivalent of Trump.
Really? Is he?
Yeah.
Trying to get this.
What are you doing with your hat?
Trying to put it on the. There you
Those
go.
of you, if you're not watching on YouTube, Alex is just messing around with his Pringles hat that
I
he's
don't
obsessed with
think
lately.
Farage is anything like Trump. I think Trump, in all fairness, is what you get. You see him,
But Farage is
very,
populist.
very, very direct. What you see is what you get. Farage, Farage is a sneaky, sneaky, sneaky.
There's a reason why that man made a lot of money taking his money out of the UK before Brexit happened. So he's not a man of the people. He's made a ton load of money from he was a trader. He was part of the financial markets. He made a crap load of money in the city back in the day. You know, he's a shark. But then so's Trump. Trump's not a man of the people.
Maybe now.
How is Trump a man of the people now when he's building his fucking 999 capacity ballroom next to the White House?
Because he wants to dance.
He wants to dance.
Where else do you think Trump's going to, Trump's not going to just dance on any kind of dance floor.
He has to have capacity for 999 people.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
say,
Well, anyway,
I say,
but
well done.
I don't look. I don't. He can build whatever the fuck he wants. I really don't care. But I'm sorry. Trump is not a man of the people. He's not.
Who is?
That's the problem. Politics doesn't have any people that are connected to the real world. We
Which
were
is a
talking about it
shame.
the other day. Politics is just full of people that come in, they get their monthly wage, and then they get their payoff for the rest of their lives doing, you know, consultancy gigs and all this other stuff.
Was it always
What
like that?
seems to be. When was the last time you saw a politician that genuinely was? Look at all the prime ministers that you had from the
Thatcher?
Tories. They've all come from Eton. When did you ever have a working class, non-private educated or whatever, or non-Oxford or Cambridge or whatever, senior leader. The only ones who ever had it, who had it recently? The New Zealanders, without
Okay.
Jacinda Ardern.
Also Polish, the Poland,
What?
the president of
Yeah, I've met him. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put a target on my back,
he seems
but
he
but
seems like
he
he
didn't
seems like
impress
a
me
bit
when I
of a
met him.
geezer. He seems like he knows what he's on about.
Yeah, he's an amateur boxer. But
Geezer.
when I met him a couple of years ago, I met him at an event for my family,
Yeah.
and this was before he'd even announced he was running for president. This was like rumors that he might, or whatever, and he was the head of the National Institute for Polish History or something, whatever. Um, he just didn't impress me. He struck me as another politician. When he was in the room, he was talking to you. You were talking to him. He wasn't interested in what you had to say unless it benefited him. That was the impression I got. So, um, like any other aspiring politician, wants to know, wants to speak to the people in the room that are going to help his cause, help him, win his election or whatever he wants. You know, so yeah, but
So the
that's just
answer
the way
to
it
the
is.
question is the UK the place to
I don't
Oh,
understand why you're going to such deep, thoughtful topics. This is supposed to be pipped off,
I know, but these things,
pipping you off.
yeah, they pip me off. They really do. Like these things
But you
affect
don't. Why does it pip you off when you don't want to live in the UK anyway?
because
Because you wouldn't cope with the weather.
my family, everybody is in the UK. Like
And okay, and what do they say when you speak to them? Is it as
I
crap as
think
everyone makes out?
things are tough. Things are tough,
Yeah. But are
and
things easier somewhere else?
I think it's very easy to think about the grass is always greener on the other side. But and the English, we do like to complain a lot.
Not as much as the Poles. Trust
Oh,
me, the
really?
Pole take the Polish people to the Olympics for complaining, and they'll win gold every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the way it is, you know? That is just the
But
way
this
it
is
is.
what I'm saying is that
I
I
would like
I
to
genuinely
I would love to think though that there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Because at the moment it doesn't really seem like there's too much light at the end of the tunnel. It just seems like a fucking
but where
tunnel that
but
is
which
dark and
yeah, but which
just
country has got light at the end of the tunnel?
Dubai, Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
uh, Albania,
Albania, you reckon?
Thailand. Yeah, Albania's growing like crazy. Growing
Interesting.
like crazy. Thailand, so much growth in Thailand. Everybody's over moving over there, building infrastructure. They're putting in new different types of taxes to make it very tax efficient for people to go over there. Crypto, crypto free tax type of things. All these emerging markets, all of these different types of markets, man, they're
I think
growing. They're
but then
growing while we're kind of eating ourselves up.
but then I think the problem is that you're then looking at different types of economies and markets and cultures as well. You know, like the reality is that you choose to go where you go at different stages of life. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got a family and
So when would
kids
you
and
go
everything
to
else,
when would you go to Thailand? 50,
exactly right. You know, there was actually remember there was a guy actually from ABL. Do you remember there was a guy on ABL? And actually no, you'd left by then. It was me and LJ were doing the streams, and there was a guy who was planning to move. I think he was planning to move to Thailand with his missus, and he was in his 50s actually. So it does happen, but
I think Thailand is great. Great place, great food, great a lot of things.
yeah, I think the problem is the West have gotten complacent. you know. And like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? In the UK, everyone complains about how dirty the streets are, how the streets aren't cleaned, how the street, the pavements don't get swept, with the autumn leaves or whatever, right?
Yep.
As an example, right? Poland, you don't have that problem, but do you know why?
Because you
Because
get
there is a bylaw or a local law, whatever it is, that says that the owner of the building next to the pavement, or the administrator of the building next to the pavement, is responsible for keeping it clean and tidy. So when all the snow falls down, you've got all these people, all these cleaners and everything else that are, paid for by the administration of each of the buildings. So if you live in a block of flats, part of your fees that you pay for
goes to
is
that.
maintenance, and it's the public pavement because it's next to your building, right? It's the same if you've got a house, right? You have to keep the leaves clean and the snow clean and everything else from the front of your house. Simple as that. But you try and introduce something like that into the UK, they're so entitled, they'll be like, I'm not doing that. That's not my job. It's the council's job. Do you see what I
Why
mean?
else are you paying council tax?
Yeah, but then this is the problem, right? Is that they've gotten so used to, right? Well, I'm paying my council tax for what? But the council tax has not kept up with the cost of everything else that the council's having to pay for. You know,
A lot
so
of them, a lot of them are running super, super thin.
yeah, totally,
Some have even gone bankrupt.
yeah, exactly. But again, I ask the question: which country is not struggling right now? The French, the Germans, the Italians, the Spanish.
Europe's struggling. Everywhere
Europe's
outside of
struggling.
Europe is not really struggling.
Canadians aren't struggling. The Australians aren't struggling. The New Zealanders aren't struggling.
The Australians are having a whale of a wash. They look like they're
I can
having a
tell you the New Zealanders aren't.
fantastic.
I can tell you the New Zealanders are definitely not. And Australians aren't having such of a whale of a time as you think they are. The cost that they have to pay for things is absolutely mental. Property for Australians and for New Zealanders is wild. You ask LJ, he'll tell you. It's absolutely
Property over
insane.
here is wild.
Yeah. But
I
that's what I'm saying, is that nobody's got it. There's no,
Nobody's got
even Dubai, right? If
yeah.
you wanted to go over to live in Dubai and work in Dubai, right? You've then got to have somebody pay you a Dubai salary so that you can pay for all of the costs, right? Because the taxes in Dubai are low, right? But then you've got to pay for your healthcare, you've got to pay for your schools and all this sort of stuff. So you
Agreed.
then got to have the wages and the salary
It's
to pay
about
for.
the same. It's about the same. You just don't have the crime. You haven't got the crime, and you've got the weather. Except for in the summer, the weather is atrocious. You cannot breathe.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah,
come over to Poland.
I get what you're saying.
I don't, it pains me to see all the news and the stories and everything else coming out of the UK. It really does, because like you, I grew up there, I was born there, and my family is still there, and part of me would really like to go back there. Part of me would really love to move back there with my kids, be close to my parents. They're both going to be in their 70s from next year.
Mm.
If I could be closer to my parents, I really would. But then I'm sitting there going, is that the right decision for me and my kids? But then at the same time, I'm then thinking, well, hang on a second, is staying in Poland the right thing for me and my kids right now?
Oof.
When you've got the Russians bombing a train line the other week, derailing a train. There is nowhere that seems to be, this is it, this is the place to be. Because you go to Dubai, you're still in the Middle East, and the Middle East is hardly the safest place in the world.
Wow. Depends.
Yeah, it depends, yeah. But you know what I mean? There is nowhere the one place I reckon that is worth considering is Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal's really nice.
Portugal,
Portugal.
I've heard a lot of good things about,
Yeah.
and I've heard a lot of good things about it for quite some time. It's not
Yeah.
just a flash
Yeah.
in the pan thing.
I loved it when I was in Porto.
Yeah,
It's such a good place, such great vibes. People enjoy life. It's great weather, good
yeah,
food.
yeah,
Except for we had their special soup. I don't care about eating pork and that. I eat pork and I eat all kinds of stuff. But obviously my father doesn't.
Yeah.
And we were eating this stuff, and I was looking at it, and I was like, why is the meat, why is the chicken in here hairy? And I'm like, hold on a second, why is that thing got like scale things on it? That, and then I'm like, yeah, this isn't the right soup. And my dad's eating it.
Oh,
He's
no.
full on scoffing it, and he loves it. He's like, oh, this is fantastic. Oh, traditional food. As soon as I tell him, he's like, oh, God, I hate that. That's disgusting. What? Turns out it was pig intestine
Oh, no.
and pig nose and all kinds of stuff in a soup.
I remember
In a soup. It was in beans.
yeah. First time I came to Poland in the 90s. We stayed in the middle of like the mountains,
Mm,
and we went to this local like bar restaurant place,
yeah.
and they served us like it was like what's it called? Don't even know what it's called. In German, it's schnitzel. It was a bit
Ah,
like a schnitzel
schnitzel.
kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Schnitzel. Yeah.
Um, but so it was presented as like a breadcrumb kind of covered schnitzel type thing, and you
Mm,
taste it, and you're like, okay, this is quite nice. And you thought it was chicken. Later, found out it was cow tongue.
it's not bad.
And
Not bad.
later on, I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. But as a kid, I was like, what? But each
Mate,
to their
people,
own.
some places you
This was post-communist Poland. This was
yeah,
like the mid-90s, so it was like just eat what you can get. Whilst capitalism just
camels and
runs rife.
yeah.
So yeah,
Should we
but
get on some trader confessions?
I think we should. I think we should.
About time.
We've got a few in here. So let's see what we've got. Um, so here's one. This is an interesting one. This is one where a guy says, "I worked for a well-known trader who launched a trading journal website. He eventually began selling the user data for millions of dollars to hedge funds, brokers, and other companies, and he paid me 100 grand to keep quiet about it."
Is it, have I got a problem that I think this is okay? Is this
I don't know.
is that bad?
I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so we got the data. You've clicked on I'm happy that you sell the data. Why can't
Oh,
I
it's,
sell the
'cause
data?
it's saying, imagine paying to get your edge ruined, basically, because you're selling it to the hedge funds. So you're selling people's edge. So they're trading data, like being able to analyze it, train the algorithms and everything else.
That's a bit different.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Like if it was
What?
just like, well, yeah, what other data would you be,
Yeah. You'll
Okay.
like this one. This one might be from you actually. I've been trading. Well, no, it's not you, but it could be you. I've been trading for 3 years, but never consistently profitable. Then 2 months ago, I took a 50K funded account to 66K in a month. I was just a few $100s away from meeting the consistency for a payout. Then I had a small loss one day. Chain reaction happened, and I ended up blowing the entire account in 5 minutes. Imagine that.
I
Five
did it in a couple of
minutes.
days, but 5
Yeah,
minutes.
man.
What a rush.
That's like, oh
What a
wow.
rush. No, honestly, I bet he felt really bad.
Yeah, man. That would be
I bet he
that
felt
would be
sick.
harsh. Oh, can you just imagine that feeling of
Oh, I don't need to imagine.
you're
Don't need to imagine. I remember when I was in that gold trade and I
you
was
can just have a
on that run.
flashback.
I was honestly, I felt sick. Nobody could talk to me.
Are you still in that gold trade now? A different one
Which
today.
one? Yeah,
The
yeah,
one that
it's
you were in
still,
earlier.
yeah, it's still the same. It's not. It's just consolidating at $1,000.
Would you just close the damn thing? It's almost
There's no
2 o'clock
reason.
UK,
Yeah, but there's no reason to close it right now.
but there's no reason to keep it open when it's the day after Thanksgiving and the US isn't opening. There's no US open today, so there's nothing gonna happen. All it's gonna do is just everything's just gonna trickle off. I'd be taking my grand and saying, "Thanks very much for giving me a grand on Black Friday."
Yeah, UK 100. To be honest, it's been a tricky one.
I don't know why. What has suddenly got you into the footsie? I do not know.
Why? Because it's trending, and I'm prefer to be in assets that are trending and just not
Ranging.
not ranging as much.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. That's why I'm still in gold. That's why I've been trading a lot of these different types of assets because forex. I can forex on the 5 minute. Great.
Yeah.
I don't like taking and to wait for swings on forex. You're waiting months for proper areas of pivots.
Here's a story for you.
Oh no.
I'm 21
Mm.
and unemployed.
Mm.
Not in college either. Got
Like the rest of us.
110K inheritance from my grandfather a few months ago and tried trading with it. It's
No.
down to 8 grand right now.
Oh, fuck.
110 grand down to 8 grand.
Trading will take everything from you if you're not careful.
Just insane.
It's heartbreaking in a way.
It is. It really is.
But that's the zero sum game.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it as well.
Yeah.
I like it. That's the reasons
You can
I
you can
love the fact that it's player versus player.
it will make you or break you.
Yeah,
You know,
player versus player.
yeah.
Can you be disciplined enough? Can
Yeah.
you do the right things so you take the money off the other person? It's the ultimate competition. It is the ultimate competition, and it's the ultimate competition, one of the hardest arenas in the world because it's dealing with money, man. It's
Here's an
so
interesting one.
go on.
You'll like this one. I was the trader behind one of the biggest trading influencers. They were the face of the brand, and I actually did the trades and the signals. They screwed me over and went independent. Now they have a huge trading fan base with literally zero trading knowledge.
A lot of people do it.
These are from last year actually, because I found this Twitter page called Trading Confessions or Traders
Yeah.
Confessions.
A lot of them do. A lot of people do that.
Yeah,
HS Tiki Toki, if you know
you'll
who that is.
you'll like this one. There's a prop firm one here.
Oh,
I work. This was. Oh no, this was this year. This was November this year. So actually, it's not from last year. These are all from this year. I work in a pretty popular prop firm. I don't know for a fact, but I'm very sure that we're having major liquidity issues. The CEO is overreaching and getting us to deny payouts for pretty terrible reasons when usually he's not involved in that process at all. Alex, you want to tell us something?
it was supposed to be confidential. Um,
Oh,
Look, it is what it is. I think soon as prop firms get to a certain payout ratio, that becomes unsustainable. Over 60% payout ratio. That's bad.
yeah.
That's closing business bad. There's been firms that have had it up to 70 and 80. And they closed very, very fast.
Yeah.
The
But it's because they're not
reasons
managing risk
they're not
with
managing, they're
the
not managing
scammers.
exactly,
Yeah.
not managing risk with the scammers,
Yeah.
and the scammers are just coming in. They're
Hedging it and just going full
just
tilt.
doing absolutely everything,
Yeah.
absolutely everything, and it's not hard. You
Yeah.
can with some of the spreads that we offer in prop,
Mhm.
the trading conditions.
Yeah.
You can arbitrage your personal account on stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
For God's sake, the spread on gold at one point at
Mhm.
Funding Rock
Yeah.
was 6 points.
Wow.
I was like, guys, guys, are you all? This is retarded, man. And it wasn't because it was just some people not paying attention.
Yeah. Just mad, isn't it?
Look at gold now, bloody hell, it is flying up now.
Is it? Are
Yep.
you still in it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking not today, not for today. I'm gonna have to close it out soon, to be fair. But I'm looking for 41.92. Oh, it is flying. Is it
We
41.82 right
should we
now?
let's finish on a positive one. This is
Got it.
this is my aspiration.
I don't want a positive. I want a juicy one. Okay, go on then.
I'll give you the positive one, and we'll see if we can find a juicy one. So I worked in the same office job for 7 years. I started
Mm.
trading 4.5 years ago, and people would make fun of me and doubt me. I made 42 grand trading prop firm last month and quit my job. Best moment of my life. 42 grand
Atta,
in a month.
atta boy.
That is
Atta boy.
that is quite something, isn't it?
Prop firms, you can do it.
Yeah.
Prop firms, and I promise you can make a lot of money.
What do you think about? Have you seen this prop firm kid guy on Instagram? You
Prop
seen
firm
him?
kid, he trades futures. He's not a kid.
No, he
He's a
does.
grown.
No, he
He's a
does
grown
CFDs as
adult.
well.
He's a grown adult though. He's a man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. He's an influencer, and yeah.
And his approach is go out and buy like 10 100K accounts, put 5 of them on a copy trader, and then you've still got another 5 if you blow them. That's just
Everyone's got their way of playing. It's the same thing. Everybody's got their way of playing. Everybody's got their own edge. I, you know, put a lot of risk on, and I either pass within the first week or I blow it in the first week, and then I get
yeah,
funded, and then I cut the risk occasionally, and I just try as fast
yeah.
as possible to get big payouts. Then I stop, and then I wait, and then I do the exact same thing. And just from FTMR, I took 50 grand.
Wild.
So, and that was just in 6 months. And that was all off small accounts. It wasn't off big accounts. It was all off 25s and 50K accounts.
Here's a good
It,
one.
yeah.
Here's a good one. My ex left me when I had been struggling for 2 years as an unprofitable trader. I begged her to stay, but she refused and called me a loser. Last week, I posted a screenshot of a 30 grand plus trade, and she slid into my DMs.
I wonder what he did. He's like, "Oh, come over,
Oh,
babe."
he doesn't say. He doesn't say. Oh
What
man,
would you do?
what would I do if my wife left me because I'm still not a profitable trader?
Not your wife. It's not realistic.
Um,
If a girl that you were speaking to or a girl that you were quoting,
no, not for me. If you've left me when I'm trying to make something of myself and I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to graft and build something not just for me but for us at the time, right? Because we're together, and then you walk away because you think I'm crap or whatever. Why would you suddenly then come back? That for me is just that's the epitome of a gold digger. Just saying, "Oh, you've got money. Okay, you can come and look after me now." Like, no, if you're not going to help me when I'm fighting up the ladder, don't try and ask me to pull you up the ladder when I get to the top.
so I would just make her fall in love with me and then just leave.
Why?
Just to leave.
Oh, just to leave. Oh.
Just to leave.
No, I got to, no. If I'm making that kind of money on
See,
trading, I don't need that kind of
I'm
leech on me.
petty. I'm not actually that petty, but there's something a little bit like you did
Oh,
that to me.
here's an interesting one for Jonathan. Jonathan, if you're listening to this, only idiots trade technical analysis. It's a complete scam. Do you think bank traders are using chart patterns? Get real with yourself.
I
Ooh,
actually asked. So when I was at a wedding,
as you
and
do.
this was at my friend's sister's wedding, and her father bank investment banking types. And it was funny because I was speaking to one guy and he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I trade CFD currencies." You know, he's like, God, felt like such a twit.
Um,
Anyway, but we were talking. He was talking about some of his like what he does and all of that kind of stuff. And I said, so what's your edge? And he said his edge. He said it was a very good question, and he thought
mhm.
about it, and he said his edge is just information. And I said,
What
interesting.
fundamentals or
Information. Just he didn't go into it. He just said information. And I said, do you not use any kind of technical things? And he said, look, when I want to get in a trade, yes, I will look for technical levels,
yeah?
certain types of accumulation patterns, and I will get into a trade. But I don't trade a
But he's
technical.
also not day trading, right?
He's definitely not fucking day trading. As soon as he found out I was day trading, looked at me like I was bonkers. you know, and I was the one that he was just quiet. I was the one talking. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I trade currency. Blah, blah. Yeah, he said there's no opportunity in currencies because it's too efficient. The prices are too efficient. It's just a too efficient market, and there's no opportunity there.
Yeah,
And then I asked him to pump me give me a stock,
yeah,
and he said he'd been in this stock for quite a long time. Showed me the stock. Stock is from when he told me about it has been going up a hell of a lot. I asked
yeah.
him where his stop was, and then that was the end of the conversation. He told me, "Yeah, well, look, here's my card. Email me, and we'll talk." That was the end of
Did
it.
you email him?
No, what the fuck am I going to email him for, man?
Get some signals.
But it's quite interesting. His win rate 10-20% of the time, and his edge is information.
Yeah.
And
But
maybe
10-20% of the time, people would scoff at that and go, "That's ridiculous. That's unsustainable."
I guess.
But at the end of the day, he's making it work.
At the end of the day, he's making people a lot of money. And
Yeah,
I say he's making people a lot of money.
yeah,
He takes a fraction,
yeah. But that's
of
that's still a sizable chunk.
don't know. You looked at him and he just looks super nerdy, tall, scrawny, old looking guy. Just looked like he's been on the 1 minute time frame for too long. That's what he looks like.
That's because he's trading other people's money.
That's a tough thing, trading other people's money. Somebody came to me and said, Alex, I've seen you've been all of your prop stuff. Do you mind, trading a prop account for me? I'll buy the account and you trade it. I'm like, no, man, don't want to be doing that. You don't want me to be doing that as well.
Well, I was literally just about to say, "You sure you want to ask Alex to do that for you?"
We
Wonder
joke when I'm on
when,
a
mate,
roll, or when I'm on a roll, you can't stop me.
when you're in the zone, that's it. You are killing
It's
it.
yeah,
But I'm curious, do you know what your win rate is on passing accounts?
45%.
On actually passing accounts?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I do know that. It's a bit like my win rate in trading.
Mhm.
Kind of correlates if you just
It's like
think
50-50,
about it.
basically. Pretty much
Yeah,
50-50.
pretty much 50-50. If I'm going in a bad time, there was the time where I was just it's basically the same. It's all the same to you're trading your normal win rate as long as you're not doing different types, because sometimes in my trading I do take different types of trades as well.
Yeah.
And I like practicing and doing little different things. Like I took one account and I just tried to swing trade that.
Yeah.
Like, I've never built an edge in swing trading, so it depends.
The
But yeah,
short
around
the
about
short-lived swing
45.
trading the shortest-lived swing trading career in the history of trading.
I just do not. Do you know? Yesterday, while I was in that USD CHF trade, because I was short for on a higher time frame level and stuff like that. I just couldn't sleep, man. I was thinking about it too much. I just can't. I don't like holding on to positions. overnight. It just doesn't do me well, and I don't like how much it comes. How long it takes for the trade to build up. If you're looking at a trade on a daily, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, always a pleasure, mate. Lovely to catch up with you. And yeah, that's it for us for this week. Join us again next week where we'll talk more garbage and rubbish about the UK going to shit and
see what else we're pipped off about. See if I've passed all of these accounts.
Do you know what? How many would that be now that you would have? So you've got one that's passed,
3.
And you got one that's phase 2, and you got one that's on phase 1.
There'll be 1 200, 1 100, and 1 25.
325k funded.
Pardon?
325k funded. Which is the 200k? Is that the one that's funded?
No, 200k is the one I got for the Black Friday deal.
Okay. Nice.
All
right, matey.
That's getting there. All right, bud. We'll see you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.